This is Anthony Gray. I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. Just giving some tips and pointers to some acrylic painting. This painting here, or this picture, I was doing for a 2-point perspective tutorial, explaining how to do the 2-point perspective. If anybody's seen the clip before, I got the horizon line here, then one slightly off camera over here, and I did it all. But I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. I want to show you something, because before I started taping, as you can see, I put in some cobblestones and some guidelines. The guidelines go toward the point, they're both off camera now, of the respective horizon lines depending on whatever side they're on. Alright, so the cobblestones can be any shape, any size, as long as they maintain the dimensionality of the horizon lines, the guidelines that you see. Alright, as long as they're, well, I go from here, as long as they're larger in the beginning at the start and go smaller, and if you're receding backwards, they go smaller. Okay, now a lot of that will be painted over, but I kind of know what I'm going to do anyway. Drawing in the cobblestones might take a little time, so I won't even, this should be about it. I won't even waste time too much. I'll just get right into it. Okay. One of the first things I am going to do is reach in and get a nice sized brush here. I wish I could tell you exactly what size this is. It's probably an 8 or a 10, maybe a 10 or more. It's not a bright, it's a flat. I'm gonna use right here. I'm gonna use this. Put some matte medium down all across here. All right, just to get the sky in. It won't be too much of any kind of special sky or whatever. Just put the matte medium down to get everything slick. It can fade it kind of easily. Alright, it's almost like the wet on wet method using oil paint, but you're just using the matte medium. Okay, I'll just put it on there kind of quick here. The medium will slow down the drying time of the acrylic. Okay, there we go. But it does get tacky once the air hits it. That's really basically about all you would need. Now I'm not going to rinse off the brush. I think I'm going to add just a tad bit of blue. I might want a little bit of cloud play in here. Alright, little X strokes here and there. I tend to like it kind of dark towards the corners. Now, I think that should be enough blue. Blue is a very strong color. This is phthalo blue. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is just fade it in a little bit. I don't want to totally lose all the white. Go down here a little bit. Trail it here at the top a little. Something like that. Now, if I don't want to cover the whole sky, I'll just use my soft blending brush. Go in a kind of a circular motion, really soft. Yeah, the medium's starting to tack up now. But it actually helps when I blend. It won't be so harsh of a blend. So, works even better. Now, I'm not really worried about blue or any of the colors going onto the wall. I'm not worried about that in the least bit because it will get painted over once it dries. Alright. So that's basically it. That's pretty much good enough. Okay. I will work on the trees. The matte medium is almost dry. It dries that fast. Alright, so what I'll do is I'll just moisten the area where I want the trees. Just a little bit of water here. All up in here. Alright. I'll rinse this brush out real quick. Make sure you rinse your brush off thoroughly if you're using matte medium. You don't want it to really stiffen up on your brush. It's just bad news for everybody. Alright, I'll work on the trees in the background here, but what I'll do is I'll add a little bit of the blue. I want it a little dark. Then I'll add a little bit of the green with it for highlights. But I don't want it to be too really too just blatantly out there. I want it to kind of hide a little bit within the sky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap. These are deciduous. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. That's my dog. You may hear him a while. He doesn't know when to stop. Alright. So what I'll do is I'll tap in the outside areas of the trees. Much like this. You want to try to get in some gapped areas so a little bit of the clouds would show through. Alright. Something like that. Get some more. Just tap away. Okay. Like I said, I'm more concerned about the outside edge really than anything else. Just like that. Now I'm going to get some more of this. What I'm doing is a mixture of phthalo blue, cad red, touch of the sap green. And I'll just start darkening in. All around the edge here. Yes, I went around my little circular little monument there, but that's okay. I'm going a little bit past the horizon line, which is also fine. Like I say, it will be covered up anyway, so I'm not terribly worried about it. But see those little gaps in there? Kind of adds to the realism of your painting. Okay. I am painting on my easel, but I have a one of those little Alvin drawing little Alvin boards there. You put your papers on. Cause I needed something a little more solid. Cause I'm working with canvas paper. So, all right, something like that. Now that I've got that done, and I'm not going to really have anything. I don't believe really darker than that. I already don't need the color on my brush. So I will rinse really good, because you know paint like this gets into the bristles. You gotta just regular paper towel or a rag, some old rag. Just rinse it off really good. Okay. I am going to work on putting some, I still want some of the tree bark to show through a little bit. It's just my preference. I kind of like it. I'm going to get number 12 flat. What I'm going to do is mix a little bit of yellow, okay, with my blue mixture, a little bit of red, it gives it a deep red brown, some more yellow. There we go. It'll gray it out a little bit. I don't need too much. I'm going to just lightly tap in, just lightly, some trunks. It's just a touch here and there. more trunks you have in a general area, just want to let you know, the more your eye will gravitate to them. So you might want to be a little sparse with it. Okay. I might put some up here. Maybe one in here. Now, they may be seen, it gets darker as it dries. They might be seen, they may not be seen. Depends on how close, they examine, they look at it, whatever. And that's pretty much it. Don't need any more than that. And it's the background, so I'm not really too concerned about that. Okay. Now I will work on the grass area here, all through here. I already know bushes are going to be here. They're going to be here. I already know about the shadows. The bushes are going to be here and over here. All right. So I'm going to work on putting the grass in. Okay. Now, I think I will get some medium. I'm just going to get it all slick, all in here. Now with the matte medium, like I say, it does slow, if you mix it with the paint, it does slow the drying time a little bit. But once air gets to it and it's applied thinly, like I'm doing now, it will tack up and it will dry it up on you rather quickly. I'm going to put a undercoat, dip it in water. And I'm going to use the brown mixture for the trees mixed in with the green-blue mixture that I've already used for the trees. Now I have a gray-green mixture, but I'm just going to use it as an underpainting. Like so. A little bit more here. It just helps the paint flow. And plus it's an underpainting, so it doesn't matter if it looks streaky, it looks kind of crazy, because it actually will help once you lay the actual grass down in there. Alright. I'm being very mindful of my perspective and the lines. Let's do it this way. There. That's all I needed. Just for the underpainting, okay? That's it. I don't have to smooth it out or whatever. And if I want, I can add a couple of dark patches here and there. Just gives it a little bit of interest. Okay. And once again, every time I'm through with the color, just rinse off your brush thoroughly. Believe me, it saves you a whole lot of heartache and headache later on down the road. What I'm looking for is a nice brush with a number is this? Number 10. Okay, this is another 10 flat, but it's a little on the rough side. You see the splayed bristles there? That'll actually help me with the texture on the grass. Okay. And I'm going to have the grass just using a regular basic sap green, just a little touch, slight touch of the yellow. And what I'm going to do, here's our horizon line. Now this is going to be like a garden, so the grass will be a little on the manicured side. Okay. And all I'm doing, I'm just going to tap. I'm not necessarily going to cover every inch of this because you want a little bit of variation. Okay. Oh, if you're wondering what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. Alright, I'm going straight in. Alright. but at an angle so the bristles will push up, which gives you the kind of cropped, stippled gaps you see in the grass. Now, as I'm doing this, I gotta mix in. I like what I like to do is mix my colors. This is going to be a little lighter maybe up front here. Now all of that this here doesn't matter because the bush is going to be there. Alright. Getting a little more paint, a little more green. Sap green and the yellow, and lightly tap away. Like I say, a lot of it is not going to really matter because all sorts of shrubbery, grass, and what have not is going to be, or not grass, but bushes are going to be here, rose bushes or whatever. Doesn't really matter. Especially all around in here, doesn't matter. And in here, I think I'm going to touch it up with a little blue. This is where the shadow is going to be. All around, exactly, I'm going to show you right now. All in here is your shadow grass. Remember, it gradually get lighter as it moves away from the wall. But there's going to be, actually, there's going to be bushes here, bushes there, big bush here, whatever. But it's all good. Okay, remember this spot here I told you about? Right in here. Keep in mind the perspective. Okay? It's right in here. The shadow. And the ball on top of right in here. But since, like I said, I already know what I'm doing, already pictured it, so I just put it in beforehand, which is cool. So pretty much like that. Okay. I want this interior here a little darker. So I'll just add a touch of blue. A little touch of red. Maybe some bushes or something back here. I just don't want it as... There we go. Just to cover it up a little bit. Add a little more inches back there. Since I like the way that looks, I might put a little couple of dark patches in there. Somewhere in there like that. Okay. Now I'm going to darken in some, start on the bushes or, I think I'll do the wall next. Yes, the wall will be next. What I'm going to do with the wall is I'm going to add a little yellow. I want to gray the wall up a little, just a little bit. So I got the yellow mixed in with the green. Add just a touch of the red, a slight touch, and some more yellow. Maybe a little more red. Okay. Just going to give it a weird reddish brown, and as I tap a little more blue into it, more yellow, and a little white. Not too much though. Okay. And what I'm going to do, actually that's a little too green. I don't want that. There we go. I think I'll stick with that shade a little bit better. I like that. Yep. A little red, a little green, a little white. I like that a little better. I'm going to lower the brush a little bit, wet it. This is the highlight side. Stick it with the perspective. Now since these are cobblestone, and I did not add no medium to the wall, I didn't want any. This is going to be the lighter side of the wall. Okay. Stick with your perspective, please. And don't be so scared using your brush. Okay. Now, a little bit of water. Remember, this side and this side are the same hue, same shade. Just the underpainting of the wall. Okay. Get as much of that in there as you can. Like so. Okay. Now I still got that color here, but I'm going to darken a little bit for the there we go. I'm going to darken the other half of the wall. I'll darken this side. You can see the difference. It is the shadow side. A little more water. Since I didn't add any medium, I don't need it. Right along here. Now, getting it all pretty for the undercoat really doesn't matter, doesn't help much. Actually, the uglier and scrapier it looks, like that, because it's underpainting, better it will look, actually. Okay, it could look something like that. Now, that same shade, that same tone of color will be added right here. As a matter of fact, I believe I'll get it a little darker because it looks like it's the same shade. So I'll add a touch more. Red, a little more green, a touch of the blue. You'll see the difference. There you go, that's much better. Like that. Alright. Keep it. Now this one here I smoothed up a little bit. There. That's better. Like I said, all of that will be covered with cobblestones anyway. Okay. Now that that's done, rinse off the old brush. I'm going to put in next bushes. Still working with the same dark tone color. Alright. I'm going to go back to Mr. What are you again? The filbert. Size 8 filbert here. I'm going to really darken in for the base color. Deep red, phthalo blue. I want more blue than the red. Okay. Start blocking in some bushes. Around here. Go on up. Something like that. You might want to use maybe a little one back here. Still work with your perspective. Follow that perspective line in the bottom of the okay. I want a bush in here. Something like that. Alright, maybe a, well, we're going to put a bigger one here anyway. Remember, what adds interest the most is that outside line. Right in there. This outside edge. Outside edge. All the outside edge. Keep them interesting. Just like that. Alright? I'm running out of my little base color, but that's okay. Same colors. Blue with the red. I wanted a little more blue than the red. Okay. I'm going to put a nice one right around here. That's the base color. It's okay. Follow that shadow line. So make it so pretty on the edges. Okay. A little more blue. Some more red. Put some around here. And keep in mind the size, and that wall is your horizon line. Okay. Something like that. Now I'm going to add a little green, blue, and red, get a little darker still, because I will add some more bushes. Remember, we have a big one right here. And I have it go up around there like that. All this is just dark as can be. Doesn't matter. You know why it doesn't matter? It's going to be covered with different shadow color, different leaf colors. So all of that in there. As long as this part is the interesting part. Alright? Doesn't matter what goes on there. Might want to put a tiny one up in here. Still super dark. Blue, the red, and a little bit of green. And we'll put tasting one right in here. Something like that. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Keep it dark in there. Alright. Okay, about, let's see here. Oh, only 30 minutes went by? Alright, you got the background trees, you got your bushes in, you got your grass in there. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is, once again, rinse off this brush. I want, because remember I said the sunlight, if you listen to the last tutorial, how I described what I was going to do with the painting. The sunlight's coming from over here. Okay. I'm going to add no white, just the pure yellow. A touch of the yellow. I'm going to mix a tad of it in with the dark shadow color. This is what it looks like. Okay. I'm only going to use the side of the brush. Just a little bit. Start tapping in. Some of the highlights. Where I want the sun peeping through. All back there. A little bit up here. Some up here. Just tap. Keep tapping. Down in here. A couple bits of the sun here. Okay. All in here. Remember the shadow's going that way, so keeping it around in here. Okay. Now, that looks ultra green compared with all that yellow. That's fine. So I'm going to add a little bit of red with the green. We're going to just brown it up a little bit. Just a little bit. Right in here. Like so. Just like that. Maybe just a little bit of it in here, not much. Rub it with your finger a little bit. I don't want too much of it in there. Alright, it adds a little bit of variety in there. Alright. Now, with all that said and done, I want to highlight a little bit of these bushes. When you go to highlight your bushes, trees, stuff like that, do it with medium tone. You got your dark tone. You're going to work on your medium tone. It'll be a sap green with a little bit of yellow. Alright. Still using the same brush. Okay. And if you're unsure about what pattern it will take, if you go straight on with the brush, okay, if you go and you push a little bit, or if you go flat with the brush, push up, just try it out. Alright? And this is your medium color. Okay. Now, as this, don't destroy all of your black. Okay. That should be fine, because it'll really pop once you put your highlight colors in. I'll do the same here. Just don't lose all your black. Alright. A little more yellow into the dark green. And just a few here and there. remember, we still got the main highlight to add yet. Even in here, just not as much. Just give it a little hint of color in there like so. Alright. I'm going to rinse off the brush because it looks kind of grody. And we'll do straight highlights for the bushes. And I'm still going to use this giant brush here. Of course, I ran out of yellow. Okay, get a little more yellow in here. Okay, that should be enough. Now, the only time I will, this is just my preference, I will use white with the yellow. This is just strictly highlights. So you kind of want it to really pop out a little bit. In a very, 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 here, looks like so. See it? Just a little bit. I only use about this much paint for most of the projects anyway. It's always conducive to the size of the surface you're working on. Okay. Now, if you can't really distinguish your grass from your bushes, well, your highlight goes a little bit on top of your bushes. Just a little bit here and there. Take your brush, go in all different directions with it. Like I say, it's highlights. My highlights are like more towards the top of the bush than anything, not like all back here. Like, because you really don't want to destroy all of your dark. Okay. And plus I'll put some roses or whatever in there. A little more white with the yellow. And I'm just going to touch something like that. Okay. Same thing, well, let's leave those alone. But all here, same thing. Make sure you accentuate the top part where the sunlight's hitting, which is basically on that side of the bush. Same thing over here with this guy. Sunlight's hitting down here on the bottom. These guys here, hitting more on that side. Same thing with this fella here. Okay. This guy, only a little bit peeking through. Like that. You know, you got something trying to catch a little bit of the rays. You need something back there. Okay. 0 for that one back there. He gets none. Alright. Let me show you how to do some cheap and easy roses just to sell the effect. Alright. I'll bring up to the camera. See the end of this brush? Dip a little into the white. Alright. See that red? Okay, you see that? See that there? That's your roses. And you just take it and you just touch. Touch, touch. Just touch. They're usually in bunches. Alright. Just roll your brush around a little bit here and there. Of Go back into it again. And put some up top there. Maybe some floating around in there like that. Okay, get a little more red. Touch more white. You might have a little lonely couple here. All up in here. It also helps to separate the other bushes from, you know, your rest of your grass. Something like that. Like, can you see that your painting is starting to come to life a little bit? All right. A little bit here, a little bit there. Up to you what degree of white you want with the red or red. With the right, maybe you want more red in it. With such a dominantly green color, red is the opposite of the color wheel. It will stick out quite a bit, even with acrylic. It's really shiny now. As it dries, the color tends to recede it a little bit because all of the moisture is being evaporated. Acrylic is a heavily water-based paint. Okay, even the thick-bodied Grumbacher stuff, still water-based paint. And it does dry rather quickly. Kind of like these over here. Alright. You see how it's starting to look. How it brings everything to life. Remember, the red and green are total opposites on the color wheel. If you have trouble memorizing what's the opposite, red and green are opposites. It reminds you of Christmas, right? Red and green. Yellow and purple, or violet, kind of reminds you of Easter, yes? Okay, so red and green. Oh, what's the other one? Orange and red, Halloween. Think about that, candy corn and blood, I don't know. Okay, so green and red, opposites. Yellow and violet or purple, opposites. I believe it would be, see, green, red, yellow, purple. Green, red, yellow, purple. I think blue is orange. I do believe. I might have to check on that, or somebody will correct me. Let's see. Where am I at here? Oh. I think I want roses here. But what I'm going to do, instead of the red roses, let's get some blue ones. And we'll put little dots of it. Dots of them here. Now blue and green are kind of close. So you might want to, you're going to lighten it up a little bit with your white. And blue is such a, like red, kind of a dominant color. So you really don't have to go too crazy with it. But little touches here and there. I have to go off the page here, off the tape. Just roll it around. Okay. All I'm doing is really picking up white, roll it around with blue a little bit. I'm just rolling it around. Get some more of the white. I never touch the blue. All I'm doing is dipping more white into the blue. Okay. Just roll it here and there. Like this. As I go towards the other side, here, it'd be a little more blue than the white, so it'd be a little darker. Remember, you're kind of in shadow over here, like that. Just here and there. Just give the impression of some flowers. That's all. As you see, I'm getting a little bit of the lighter blue here where it touches the sun a little bit. That's about it. And back here, you feel sorry for this guy, give him a couple here. But definitely keep it dark. As I say, when the color dries, it recedes. It gets a little darker anyway. So it's okay. Just like that. Okay. And if you want to tease just a tiny bit in the shadows here, and throw in a couple of blue ones in here too. Not many. Not many. Just a few in the shadow here. And tease a little bit. Alright. Pretty cool looking, right? And we still got the cobblestones to knock out there. And then it's pretty much finished after that. Okay. Let me rinse off this brush one more time because I highly doubt I'll be using it again. If you have any questions, just leave a message on my YouTube channel, or you can message me on the Facebook on my Facebook page. I'm going to use a very small flat angled brush. If I can find one that will suit me. Maybe I'll use this one. I like this one. This is nothing but a little toy, little baby brush, you give a little students or whatever. But it is a flat. It's the bristles are a little stiff. Okay. I'm going to start putting in the cobblestone. Now, I'm going to use yellow, a little bit of red, and I'm going to touch of green. I want them to be brownish, kind of brownish gray. Put some white in there. Lighten it up, but it turned it a little brown gray. Okay. I'm going to do the light side first. Now for the cobblestones, remember this is the lit side. No really special way to do them other than what you're seeing me do now. Just irregular shapes. Alright, don't block out all of the what would be the mortar in the middle. And as you get toward the rear of the wall, they get smaller. Keep in mind, if you're still working in perspective, okay, as I'm doing it, I'm keeping in mind that these are getting smaller and smaller and smaller as they get towards the back. And remember that these colors might appear bright now, but as they dry, it does start to recede. Alright, and they get darker. And when it dries, I'll just brush on a few highlights here and there. Remember, this is the bright side, so I gotta go over here with the bright. Irregular shapes. Go a little bit outside of the edge when you do the edge here. So it gives it a little bit of volume, like they're actually got some rocks in there. Okay. Now since this is vertical, you don't have to make them any size but whatever size you want. They're not receding anywhere. It's just straight up and down. 90-degree angle. Got me? Alright. I will do the dark side. The dark side, I will add a little more red, a little more blue. With the tan mixture that I had made. Okay, because it is the shadow side. I want it a little more blue, a little dark. It's almost like you're making a shadow color for them. Okay. And if I ever wanted to lighten it ever so slightly, only the minute touch of white. Because you want them to be in shadow. You don't want them to glow in dark like they're radiated. Okay. And you're going to do the same on this side. Remember, they will recede. It will get darker on you. But you will be able to see the difference. I'll lighten it up a little more. And plus, if I feel if it's too dark, I can always lighten it up. Okay. We're going to go here on the other side here. Just like that. As you see, I'm making them kind of supersized here in the front. Nothing, no pattern in particular. Just that they're in shadow, and just be cognitive that they get smaller as they recede into the back. Okay. Matter of fact, let me just keep doing it here and it gets smaller. Really indifferent with the shapes at this point when they're that small. And don't color up all of the background. Make them just as random as you can. That background where the mortar is going to be actually helps you. Okay. Like so. So hopefully it's making a little sense to you. Okay. Under circle. Little decorative circle of sorts, I guess. Put it right in there. Then we're going to do the other one. Of course, it's smaller. I'm doing it by sight. I kind of been doing this a while. I used to be a little draftsman and building stuff, perspective, scale, and all of that. It's kind of, I've been doing it a while. All right. If you can see them, the one cement bowling ball, whatever you want to call it, a little larger than the other one that's in the background on the opposite side. Okay. Once it tacks up just a tad, I will highlight it. Okay. Actually, it doesn't have to tack up. It's actually better if I do it this way. I'm going to use nothing but a little bit of white. No medium. Okay. sunlight's coming from over here. So I'll work on this one. No, I'll work on this. I need this one first. Doing the shadow, remember everything's rounded. Okay. Let's see if I can get this brush to be flat a little bit on one side. You want it rounded. All I'm doing is tapping, no stroking. Just tap. And in the middle, but the more you tap the color, it's going to mix in with the color that's on there, blends right through, which is pretty cool. A little bit here and there, a little brighter out there on that part. You want to give the shape, give the appearance of roundness, and then the rest goes in the shadow. I'm just wiping off the brush. I will tap it in some more. Like so. And it slowly just disappears into its own raw color. Okay. Much like that. I will do the same on the other side. On the other side, it would be on its kind of on its opposite curved. I'll just keep tapping away. I'll wipe it off the excess, and just tap right into its color. And I'm going to take some more of this, the raw white color, and put it on the very edge. You need a highlight point. Okay, I'm going to do the same. I want the highlight point to be right around in here. I want it a little bit brighter than that. Really stand out. I twirl the brush around a bit. There we go. Something like that. Okay. Now, as you can see, shadow color, sunlight coming from the upper left-hand side. Or the sunlit color, upper left hand side, shadow color. Okay, the back left. Alright. Got your deep shadow in here. Got the your little roses and your flowers in your foreground bushes. Alright, got your little separation from the regular grass. Okay. Now let's say if I want to make this grass a little deeper from what you're looking at. You want it to settle in a little bit more. Alright. I'll show you a nice little glazing method here. I'll take just a little bit of water. Matter of fact, I'll put the water on a brush, put it in a little bowl here. And I'm just going to take only a tiny bit of blue. You should be able to see it here. You see the little tiny bit of blue? Look on the bottom. And look on the top. And put it on the bottom. You should be able to see it on the bottom. I'm going to put it into this little, get this little tiny bowl of water. It's just like watercolor. Alright. Quite a few people do watercolor like paintings with acrylic. But acrylic will not fade away. Once the water evaporates, what you got down there is what you have down there. Okay. Just be mindful of that if you try it. You know what? I still want a little bit of red in that. Now remember, red's a very powerful, very strong color. You don't need too much of that. Alright, so I'm mixing the red in with that blue. Just want a bluish shadow color. Blue is in green. You're fine. Okay. I got some on the brush. You can't tell, but it's mixed in with the water. And all you do, I'll do it with the foreground here. I'll just darken up the foreground and just stroke with it. Matter of fact, I think I'll add a little more paint because I don't see it enough yet. And I'm using a little bit of a little more blue paint. There we go. Now I'll just darken it. And once it dries, like I said, it dries darker, and you really will be able to see it. And maybe, just maybe, to make that little sunlight stick out back there, I'll just darken that a little bit in there. Just to make that little sun patch stick out. I'm not satisfied. I think I still want some more red in there to make it even darker. That's just me. Now I got like a weird purpley thing going on, but that's okay. Once it dries, there you go. Now you should be able to see that. Okay. And around here, make it a little darker here. I just want it to be there. That I like. And maybe a little more darker shadow here. Okay. That I like. I'm going to put some right up here just to darken it up. And it will set darker as it dries. Okay, won't need none on that side, obviously, the side. We're about 90% done. I want to add a little highlights to the cobblestones themselves. That's what you would call a dry brush technique. I will take, matter of fact, an even smaller brush. Real tiny. I got a little tiny slant brush here. Okay, I'm gonna dip a little of the yellow and just a tiny bit of white, mix it in there. Then I'm gonna end up wiping most of it on a towel, on my rag, because I just want to lightly scrub in some highlights. I want to need that a little brighter than that. Still want to put the yellow and the white in there, but I just need a little brighter than that. There we go. If you feel you put too much on, just wipe it away. Like so. That's all. Just don't go in between the dark areas in between the stones. Don't do that. Bad for business. You just want them to shine a little bit. Like so. Do the same on the other side. The adjacent rocks. The cobblestones there. Here. Just a little bit here and there. Put some on the outside edge. As a matter of fact, I might want it a little brighter on that outside edge. Also be mindful of me being a lefty. Be careful of the palm prints. It's not totally dry, and it won't be if you glazed it. more shine here. Just get it out there. I like that. Just like that. Okay. I say that we're just about done. Alright. Alright. For just a quick example of what to do and how to paint with within perspective. I think we're about complete. And just because I want to, I'll take my liner brush. I dipped it in a little water. Okay, get the ink, get the paint to an inky consistency, and maybe just maybe a word or two. Always make it an odd number. If you're gonna put birds in there, or you know, don't make it an even number. Okay, it just doesn't look. It just looks strange. Odd number is cool. All right, you got them all on one side over there. It looks pretty neat. Normally, when I take the tape off, it'll be like a really sharp, crisp white background. Unless you glaze it, and it might bleed through. Whoops, it might bleed through, like it does over here. It might bleed through a little bit. Might bleed through down here, maybe. I don't know yet. We're about to find out, though. How bad did you bleed through? Not too bad. Not too bad. All right. Anyway, I'll raise this up just a little bit. Well, there you go. That's what it looks like. Hope you like. Hope I showed you what you can do with this perspective art and how to paint it. I think most of this is dry. And while I'm talking to you, I'm gonna, as I'm saying my goodbyes to you anyway, I really hope you enjoy this, and you, if you've got any kind of questions, please don't hesitate to let me know. Okay. In case you're wondering what I'm doing, a little fog, a little mist. It's pretty cool. Put some back there. You want, as long as you put it in light enough, you can still see a little bit of the background back there. Okay. That's all I'm doing. Just a little mist here and there. And I might highlight just a little bit of it, just in spots. Maybe the sun's hitting off it a little bit before it burns off. There you go. Alright. And there you have it. Once again, if you have any questions, let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you like it. Subscribe if you like what you see so far.